Thank you so much, and good morning, Higher Education Authority. You are welcome to the Parliamentary Committee on Education, Science and Technology.
Recording in progress.
Where we invited you to come and make a memorandum on the ramifications on the Teaching Profession Bill number 14 of 2025. So I know that the authority is not new to this committee. You are all the friends. But we still need to introduce so that we get to know perhaps there could be new faces in the House. And having said that, I will ask that honorable members of Parliament introduce first. Then we invite you, Higher Education Authority, to introduce individually. So I'll start on my far right, Honorable Malambo there. Then we'll move in this order.
Thank you very much, Chair, and good morning, Higher Education Authority. My name is Honorable Malambo Mwemba, Member of Parliament for Magoe constituency.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. My name is Mushanga Sydney, Member of Parliament for Bwacha in Kabwe, and a member of this committee. You're welcome.
Chair, thank you. My name is George Kangwachisanga, MP for Lukasha constituency, and also a member of this committee. You're welcome.
Morning. I'm Honorable Elias Daka, Member of Parliament from Sanzala constituency in the Eastern Province. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. My name is Chinga Myoto, representing Karavu Central.
Morning, Higher Education Authority, and welcome. My name is Tyson Muzingiri, Member of Parliament for Gwembe.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Welcome, HEA. Alan Banda, Member of Parliament for Chimwema constituency in Kitui.
Okay, I will invite the chair of the committee who is joining us online, Honorable Kamboni, to equally introduce. Honorable Kamboni, you may introduce her.
Thank you very much, Chair. My name is Harry Kamboni, Member of Parliament for Kalombo Central. Good morning, Higher Education Authority.
Thank you, and my name is Tuambo Mutinta. I'm Member of Parliament for Itestes constituency and standing in for the chairperson. I'll invite the clerk's office to introduce.
Honorable Chair, thank you so much. Our witness, good morning. I am Chidimboy Elijah from the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly. Thank you, Chair.
Well, thank you. I now hand over to Higher Education Authority Director Kajira to introduce yourself and your team individually.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and thank you very much, Honorable members of the committee. My name is Kajila Chinsembu. I'm the Director General of the Higher Education Authority.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair, and good morning, Honorable members. My name is Mushumba Martin. I'm Director in charge of Quality Assurance at the Higher Education Authority. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Bertha Mianda Simiandi. I'm the Acting Program Accreditation Manager. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, honorable members. My name is Insokolo Deni. I'm Manager for Standards, Research, and Institutional Audits at the Higher Education Authority. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Frank Mtale, Acting Senior Program Accreditation Officer. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Committee. My name is Bibo Boniface Msova, Corporate Communications Officer, Higher Education Authority. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Higher Education Authority. Now that we've known each other, I'll confer you with immunity that is conferred to members of Parliament in Parliament, and with that immunity, under Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, it asks you to be factual in your deliberations. And should you decide to mislead this committee, the information shall be used against you in the courts of law. So we have no doubt that you will be factual and you will not deliberately decide to mislead this committee in the deliberations. So I would also want to remind you that this sitting is broadcasted live on National Assembly TV and the radio, so that the public could appreciate the deliberations. So having said that, Higher Education Authority, I'll ask you to take us through your memorandum in a space of about 10 minutes. Then we'll allow the members of parliament to interact and ask questions where they feel it's necessary to interact with your document. Thank you. And maybe in the interest of time, we might just rush into to 2.0, where you get into the key thematic issues.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and thank you very much to the honorable members of the committee. I will present the first part of our submission, and then later I'll ask Dr. Mshumba, Director, Quality Assurance, to present the second part. As guided by Chair, the Higher Education Authority has been privileged to interrogate the bill, and our overall assessment is that the bill has got some strengths to enhance quality of teacher education in general, and that there are still some critical concerns that we shall highlight during our submission. We acknowledge several strengths, and the first is that the proposed bill will enhance professionalism, especially when it comes to licensure examinations. This is a positive step to enhance quality as well as professionalism in the teaching profession. The second aspect is that the proposed bill, especially as it relates to a disciplinary framework and the disciplinary committee with the clear procedures, we believe that this section of the bill will bring about enhanced and improved integrity to the teaching profession. The third strength that we note in the bill is the aspect of continuous professional development, CPD. This proposed provision will also improve quality as well as the technical expertise amongst our teachers. And then lastly, we note that the bill provides for clear prohibitions and penalties as outlined in the form of offenses related to unregistered practice. We therefore contend that this provision will also act as a deterrent to unprofessional conduct within the teaching profession. And therefore, with those strengths that we note above, we in support of the proposed bill, and that these strengths should be looked at in tandem with the other concerns and potential areas of conflict with the Higher Education Act. And these critical concerns and potential areas of conflict with the Higher Education Act will be elucidated by my colleague, Dr. Martin Mushumba, in the next part of our submission. So at this point, with the permission of the Chair, I'll hand over to Dr. Mushumba to complete our oral submission. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, DG. Chair, just to build on what DG is presenting, we want to indicate that we are in support of the bill and for its strength that it has. And what we want to categorically highlight is that we feel all we need to do is actually to strengthen it, even as we point a little bit of some pitfalls here that we identify as some critical areas of concern or conflicts, as we would in other words refer to them. In as much as we are saying there are conflicts, we still have faith in the bill that it builds on to strengthen the teaching profession, a profession that we treat as sacred and noble for the development of our country, because every one of us ultimately benefits or benefited from that teacher in the classroom. Chair, the first conflict that we have and we seek to highlight is the conflict of dual accreditation of teacher education programs. And in this conflict, it arises from the section 4.1 of the bill that empowers the Teaching Council to recommend to the Higher Education Authority and other relevant institutions the development and maintenance of appropriate standards of qualifications in the teaching profession. For us, we believe this is ambiguous. Because we have sections 23A and section 23H in the Higher Education Amendment Act of 2021 that grants HEA the sole and clear authority to accredit all learning programs in higher education institutions. And what this proposal in section 4.1G means in the bill is that it seeks to bring standards that are for profession and standards that are for academic, but then we do not have such at the moment. If it is standards of the professionals, that is fine, but then if it's standards for professions that are related to training, then that goes to be the mandate of the Higher Education Authority, and we need to align it clearly so that we do not have a duality of accreditation. I think duality of accreditation is the interest that the Higher Education Amendment Act of 2021 seeks to clean, and we do not want to get back to that. We have a point of conflict also that we are referring to as jurisdiction over teaching training institutions. We want clarity really on what the bill is going to talk about when it comes to training institutions, because other than defining who a teacher is, we also have a student teacher as a person who is undergoing training at a higher education institution, and the bill shows interest in these. These yes, are being trained as teachers, but they are not yet professionals, but they are training as teachers, and they are found in higher education institutions. Is the bill in its interest to look at certain institutions or areas of interest that it has said, are they treating the higher education as one of those areas of interest? And if they are going to treat the higher education institutions as areas of interest, we feel they must not do it in isolation, because the issues that they'll be raising there out of the training institutions become issues of interest to the higher education institutions, and we want to participate in those. And if they have to do that, they should do it in conjunction with the Higher Education Authority. And we feel the bill is very silent over this issue of jurisdiction. It fails to clarify whether colleges of education as higher education institutions regulated by the Higher Education Authority And that must be very clear. So we actually ask that the bill indicates that these, in terms of jurisdiction for accreditation, or should we say in terms of registration and accreditation of learning programs in these, particularly we have no interest in this because this is done by the Higher Education Authority. And if we have to accredit programs, it must be joint, or it must begin with the Higher Education Authority taking the leading role in accrediting these programs. We also have an area of standard setting, and this area of standard setting, what we are saying is that in as much as they want to come up with internationally comparable standards for teaching. This is very good, and it's a spirit that as DG has submitted from the first part, we are promoting. We feel there must be a clear MOU or Memorandum of Understanding where HEA and TCZ must work together, and it must be actually enshrined in this bill so that it provides an area of where we collaborate, so that the standards that we enforce, the standards that we put up for training, for teacher training, let's say a science teacher, should still correspond with the standards, comparable standards coming at the different level, at the professional level. And we are saying we can actually achieve this through a memorandum of understanding. Therefore, we are saying we have these weaknesses, but we have indeed some proposals on what should be done to these areas that we are saying weaknesses. We're calling them weaknesses and not necessarily the pitfalls in this, because we know that we can actually strengthen them or provide solutions to this. Chair, we talked about the ambiguity regarding program accreditation. And what we are saying is we are simply proposing that how it must be phrased, so that there must be a phrase that is going to respect that it's the Higher Education Authority that accredits the learning programs. And we are saying, and we are proposing that phrase to be approve, which we've put actually in bold, approve curriculum for teacher learning programs as prescribed for purposes of accreditation by the Higher Education Authority. And that is what we are proposing in this bill, because we know that once we do that, it will respect the fact that there is a parent act that defines what a learning program is and which learning programs must be accredited. We are also talking about lack of an explicit coordination mechanism. This lack of an explicit coordination mechanism that we talked about, and we said it can be cured by a memorandum of understanding between the Teaching Council and the Higher Education Authority. This MOU should delineate the respective roles. What are the roles for HEA in terms of managing the professions that we are talking about, the profession being the teaching, and those professionals they are interested in to last, these are the learners. What should be done in case there is something that they feel ethical training begins from an early age when they're still in higher education institutions? We must spell out these responsibilities so that they are covered in the MOUs without conflict in terms of what they are interested in doing for these learners and what we are interested in doing for them. We are also talking about unclear jurisdiction over the teacher training institutions, and we are saying we can amend the interpretation of the section in clause 2 to clearly define the relationship with the HEA. And what we are simply calling for is that the bill should explicitly state that it does not derogate from the HEA's powers. In short, that it will respect the HEA's powers over higher education institutions, and indeed that it will complement the role of the HEA when it comes to looking at the training of the teachers. Therefore, we are saying the MOU must recommend, the MOU that we are saying above should recommend that there must be joint quality assurance visits if they want to know how the teachers are trained, who are ultimately their professionals. In order to avoid duplicity of inspections, they go there to check how they are trained. We go there and we'll be creating a lot of uncoordinated works. We are also trying to avoid what we talked about, potential duplicity of inspections. We must just share data. We must actually just correspond. We talk about an MOU that is going to harmonize the different processes that we do, their interests which we value, and the interests that they value. We share data and we work as one body. The composition of the Teaching Council board. We have also taken interest to look at the composition of the Teaching Council Board, and we've noted with concern that it has excluded the inclusion of an important partner that they are looking at, the partner that trains them, the partner that ensures that every teacher becomes a competent, qualified professional that is able to represent us in a classroom, that is able to represent us in managing the institutions. The Higher Education Authority is excluded from this, and we're saying, look, there is no way that you can go ahead like this and you forget the Higher Education Authority in this board. And what we're saying is, look, when we started this, we've seen that you've gone to add a private association as a member in that board. It becomes a concern for us because we do not have special standards that apply to private teachers and special standards that apply to public teachers. Teachers are the same, whether you work in a public school or you work in a private school, and we are saying it's a notorious omission to disregard the Higher Education Authority, and we are appealing before this committee that in this composition of the council or the board, the Higher Education Authority is actually included. In conclusion, Chair, we submit that HEA is a strong proponent of the professional and well-regulated teaching force. We respect the profession itself as teaching for what it stands for the development of the nation. And the objectives of the teaching professional bill, therefore, is that we can still realign them and make in blessing what we are saying, that there must be a memorandum of understanding that should be actually explicitly stated in this bill, and also look at how we can simply align the laws of what is accreditation of learning programs and what is accreditation of a professional, so that it becomes very clear in this bill. Chair, allow me to submit these proposals that we feel would strengthen this important bill before this House. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you so much, Higher Education Authority, for your elaborate presentation. And I'm sure members of Parliament, they were paying attention to every detail. And I must want to appreciate the format of your presentation. I think you've highlighted what the challenges are, what you anticipate to see, and how you feel some of the weaknesses can be corrected. So at this point, I will invite the honorable members of Parliament who might have questions to come on and ask those questions so that we can seek clarification. Yes, we have Honorable Malambo, Honorable Tsenga, then we'll come Honorable Simuzingiri, then we'll invite another round. Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you very much for this well-elaborate submission you have given. I want to find out from you, in the process of formulating this bill, were you consulted? If you were your submissions taken on board? If there wasn't, what really could have been the problem? Because looking at your entire submission, to me, it leaves much to be desired. But at the end of the day, in your conclusion, you said you support this bill with the inclusion of your concerns. So I want to find out from you, if you submitted really, and looking at the whole entire document, you have a lot of good suggestions that would have been embedded in the bill. Where is the problem? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Senga.
Chair, thank you. Just first to also join you in thanking HEF for this eloquent submission. Thank you for the contents. I just wanted to share my thoughts on firstly on point 3.0, strength of the bill. I think the last item, you seem to be comfortable with the fact that the bill outlines the offences related to the unregistered practice and provides for substantial penalties which should act as deterrents. When I read this bill, I was very concerned. I thought that these penalties which are being recommended are very draconian. And some of the infractions for which they provide these penalties are just administrative infractions. I think about a new school teacher in my constituency, which is about 120 kilometers from here, who may lapse in trying to get a renewal of a license because of resources and other things. And what I saw in your bill, or rather in this bill that we're looking at, are punishments ranging from 5 years imprisonment to 7 years imprisonment for such minor infractions. I thought you needed to interrogate that and suggest a graduated system of punishments. You know, for minor infractions, a lighter punishment; for heavier infractions, a deeper punishment. I just want to hear your views on that. The second one is, I think, just a matter of housekeeping. You are suggesting that there should be a system of memoranda of understanding to try and deal with the overlaps of, I think, oversight responsibilities of HEA and other institutions that are going to be regulated by the statute. My take on that is that when we are dealing with the legislation and we want to provide for oversight responsibilities, the very least we try and provide for statutory instruments which are the responsibility of line ministries. Because you, like any other institution that's going to be regulated by this statute, are subjects of a regulation. You should not in any way be allowed to be creating regulations applicable to yourselves when the law only allows the minister. So I was thinking that where you are suggesting that there should be a memorandum of understanding between regulated institutions, you would probably allow us to allow that the ministers should be given the mandate to pass statutory instrument that then deal with the overlaps of the responsibilities, of course with your involvement as subjects. But if we are going to cede the powers of legislation to yourselves, it might just create a problem in implementing this statute. I thought I should just share those views, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Muzingiri.
Thank you, Chair. HEA, thank you for such an elaborate submission. Like my colleagues have indicated, you've really indicated the strength of this bill. I want to first on the disciplinary action or committee and the like. Have you really looked at the setup of the ministry in as far as disciplinary of the teacher? Did you see any conflict between the teaching council disciplining a teacher and the Teaching Service Commission disciplining the teacher in this bill? What would be the role of Teaching Council and what would be the role of the Teaching Service Commission in as far as disciplining a teacher? My second observation is continuous professional development. Again, this is one aspect which you said is a strength. Now we want to find out. This bill empowers Teaching Council to accredit those who provide CPD. And it also gives it the mandate to provide CPD. So how do you accredit someone who is going to provide CPD and you, the accreditor, also provides? Don't you think that is conflict of interest? Secondly, what will be the role of the ministry? Because the inherent function of the ministry is to provide CPD. You've seen, I think, the new curriculum, that right now a lot of teachers are going through orientation, which is CPD. Is it your take that Teaching Council must be able to accredit Ministry of Education in as far as they are providing CPD? For now, Chair.
Thank you. Maybe you may want to answer those questions, then we'll have a last round. Honorable Muzingiri, you might switch off your mic.
Oh, yeah.
In whatever order.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and thank you very much to the honorable members. We take note of the comments and questions, and we'll begin to answer as follows. Yes, consultations between the Teaching Council of Zambia and the Higher Education Authority did take place, and we have one of our staff who was attending our meeting during the development of this bill. And therefore, we note that some of our concerns were addressed, but some of our concerns were also not addressed. And that is why we are here today to try and speak to those areas of improvement. We note also that perhaps our colleagues from the Teaching Council of Zambia may have benchmarked this proposed bill with other countries. It's a standard practice to benchmark, and because they are the authority over the teaching profession, perhaps some of the presentations and proposals in this bill are better suited to address the concerns that they have with the current law. But as I said earlier, we are here to speak to those areas of improvement and those areas that overlap with the Higher Education Act of 2013 as amended in 2021. In terms of CPD, continuous or continuing professional development, this is an area that is being taken on by several professional bodies. Bodies such as the Teaching Council of Zambia, the Engineering Institute of Zambia, Health Professions Council of Zambia, and NMCZ, Nursing and Midwifery Council of Zambia. So we have several of these professional bodies, and these professional bodies are in charge of CPD. But in terms of the actual teaching and learning that leads to the diploma and degree qualifications, that learning program, especially the approval of the curriculum, is then done within the professional body. And after the curriculum is approved by the professional body, then the learning program itself is accredited by the Higher Education Authority. So the Higher Education Authority has got memorandum of understanding, for example, with the Health Professions Council of Zambia, with the Nursing and Midwifery Council, and also the Engineering Institute of Zambia. These are professional bodies. So the role of the professional bodies is to look at the curriculum, approve the curriculum, and once they have approved the curriculum, then they let the Higher Education Authority to accredit the learning program. And this is done in order to create a one-basket quality assurance regime, so that we do not have multiplicity of agencies accrediting various learning programs for different professions. So after the amendment of the Higher Education Act of 2013, the 2021 amendment then created this quality assurance regime, which is a one-basket quality assurance regime, which is being implemented and being overseen by the Higher Education Authority. And this is the practice in many other countries. I'll ask my colleagues to speak to other aspects that perhaps I have not spoken to. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. I'll talk about the important points submitted by Honorable Senga. Chair, I want to begin by acknowledging that the submissions are actually very timely. They are very timely submissions, and in the sense that we accept that the MOU, as indicated by the honourable member, probably our desire to see to it that what we do quickly conforms to what they do, and we work without problems, could have outpaced the process that is supposed to be followed. But if that is the standard process as submitted by the Honorable Singh, I think we have no objection. We want to ride through his wisdom to get to what we want to achieve. So if the SI ultimately is what will be workable, please kindly facilitate through this process that we have a workable SI that will respect these provisions and will be included. And we learn every day. We learn that should be the process. Thank you.
But also my comment, just when I was reflecting on his question.
Yes.
I think waiting to do an MOU among certain institutions, instead of correcting what the conflict could be now, for me, I would wish that we correct it now that we are drafting the bill, than allowing some level of conflict, allowing some level of duplication among institutions, and say, once the law comes into effect, we do an MOU. For me, I feel these are the opportunities that we can use to put systems straight. I think that is what I was just trying to think. What's your comment?
Thank you, Chair. Like I did indicate, I think that is our desire. That is our desire from our submission. But we do not want to undermine experience. Probably Honorable Senga is speaking from experience that there is always such a provision that works. If it works that way, we still want to learn from such experience. But our submission, which is our desire, which could override what the honorable member was suggesting, was that we deal with this, and even in the law we indicate further that we must have an MOU that should work between HEA and the TCZ for clarity of some of the matters, so that we operate within the framework. Chair, the next submission was on penalties. Again, very timely from Honorable Senga, who says probably the Chisanga. It's Chisanga. Thank you. Thank you so much for the collection. Honorable Chisanga, who says that they could be draconian, they could be excessive. I want to mention that our review of the penalties, our first impression is that we wanted to see penalties because even in the Higher Education Act, the current weakness that we have for now, which I'll be revealing here, is that we do not have penalties, and we found challenges to implement this act because when institutions, sorry to use that word, misbehave, we are limited in terms of what we are supposed to do, and we've been looking for at the next possible opportunity that we should include penalties. So when we saw penalties actually being embedded in this act, we felt it was progressive. But then probably what we could not have gone to review further is the extent, the magnitude of some of these penalties. Are some of these very excessive regarding what they are saying? I think we'll find time to interrogate them further, but thank you for alerting us about some of these being so excessive. It's possible they could be excessive, but that can be managed. But the introduction of penalties, Honorable Chair, for us is a progressive move that we want to support at this particular time.
Well, thank you so much, Honorable Members. Unless you have other questions, or there were two. Is it okay? Maybe let's allow him, Honorable, then we'll come to Honorable Simuzingiri as we conclude.
Thank you very much. I'm looking at the composition of the board. You're saying you're omitted and you believe that they should have included you. It's true, I do agree with you, because I've noticed that the executive seem to have more members here. We have Minister of Finance, Education, and perhaps Attorney General. And some people believe that maybe their influence could be thought or misinterpreted. Do you believe that perhaps we should drop one of them and replace them with you, so that even the outside world should know that it's a fair, balanced board without executive influence? Thank you.
Meanwhile, Honorable, I hope you should also inform the Higher Education Board, Higher Education Authority, that every witness that has come he has interest to sit on the board. So as you answer, you should also be mindful of. Yes.
Yeah, mine is on this dual accreditation. You've referred to G in the bill. It says, recommend to the Higher Education Authority and other relevant institutions the development and maintenance of appropriate standards of qualification in the teaching profession. The DG did explain the process of curriculum development, where professional bodies, they do their part and then recommend to higher education for accreditation. But the impression you are giving us here is that there is a conflict because the Teaching Council is going to accredit programs. Why should they accredit when the accreditation authority is vested in HEA? So I believe maybe where you are saying there is dual accreditation may not be the case, because their role is to recommend after they have done the due diligence as professional bodies, because this same provision is what HPCZ has. This same provision is what the general nursing is professional bodies. So I was thinking, what kind of conflict are we really talking about and the dual accreditation? Okay. Because we also should realize that the Teaching Council is transitioning from a training authority which had a lot of conflicts with yourselves because they were accrediting programs, to a professional body like HPCZ, like Nursing Council. So maybe some weddings that maybe the drafting have not done, but basically they must shift from training authority to professional aspect. You have also touched on the conflicts, international comparable teaching professional standards. These are not looking at teaching standards. Yours, you are looking at teaching standards in as far as learning programs are concerned. But for them is what?
Professional and
standards,
ethical,
which are totally different from training standards. So I don't think there's a conflict also there. Thank you.
We must be concluding. Director, I don't know if you might want to summarize or conclude in that manner.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you very much, honourable members. Yes, the inclusion of the HEA on the board, if the committee looks at the broader picture, as you have mentioned, other colleagues have been here before. I'm sure that if it is ECZ or ZACWA or HEA, whichever body at least should be represented on this board for the Teaching Council. Perhaps it will help in decision making. With the wording in terms of accreditation, yes, we note that section 41G reads that in collaboration with the Higher Education Authority, recommend. That is the wording which is proposed, and our proposal meant to strengthen this phrasing so that it is clear that the professional body, in this case the Teaching Council of Zambia, will approve the curriculum and then accreditation will be done by the Higher Education Authority. If it is explicit and clear in that manner, then it will help us to sort out some of the ambiguities that come with the word collaboration and recommend. We think that if we rephrase it so that it is clear that the professional board will approve the curriculum and HEA will accredit the learning program, then perhaps the bill will be strengthened in that sense. With that submission, Chair, we would like to end our responses to the committee.
Well, thank you so much, Education Authority. We really appreciate your submission, your insights, your recommendations, and the critique that you provided on the entire document. And at this point, allow me to take away the immunity which was conferred to you so that you can be free. And should we need any additional information, we will not hesitate to engage your office so that we see how better we can have a bill that will stand the test of time and a bill that will not create any conflict, but a bill that is going to ensure that professional conduct, ethics, and all the issues that it intends to cure, they are managed very well for the development of our country. Otherwise, on behalf of my honorable members, part of this committee, we thank you most sincerely and have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
We can talk about copper, you can talk